All right. This is a second live stream for researching betting. Um, I've got this site pulled up, SportX, where they have odds. It's decentralized, so they get um, there's no market makers. The market makers is the market itself. Let's go to college football and find Washington. All right, UW's plus six or minus 16, minus 852 overall. Total is at 66. All right, let's get this reorganized. All right, get back to Washington. There they are. Let's look at this matchup. See what trends we could pick out. Um, plus 16 is a big line. What's Wazoo done recently? They're kind of an inconsistent team. Wow, they just beat Colorado 56-14. They lost, scored 39, only scored 7 against Stanford. That won't happen with UW. 27 against ASU, so they're a high scoring team. Um, Arizona has a good defense. So they score a lot of points. Over unders at 66. What's UW gonna do? 22, 35, 52, 42, 15. Hmm. I mean, obviously UW should be favored really big, which they are. I don't really feel comfortable making a pick on this game though. The only thing I could think of is maybe the over 66. Um, the odds are minus 113. Um, and first level comments. UW high scoring offense, poor defense. Um, let's yeah, high scoring offense plus poor defense. WSU is decently high scoring. 56, 39, 7 against Stanford. But if you take out that Stanford game, it's 56, 39, 27, 24, 6. So they do kind of get blown out against teams at home. That's Wazoo, though. And they beat Oregon State. They just beat Colorado 56-14. That's the one thing. If it was another L here on the trend, you would say Wazoo has no chance. But the fact that they just beat Colorado, and the fact that it's a rivalry game actually makes UW plus 16 look interesting. But since I'm a UW fan, I don't want to touch that. Um, oh, right. And what's the risk? Just get it. Still colors. Um, over 66. Um, I don't know. I'll put that at like 5. I don't know really know where to put that. We'll have to look at more information to evaluate it later. Um, all right, let's go on to the back to the full scoreboard. All right, and then we have Notre Dame, Stanford. Stanford's terrible this year, so yeah, Notre Dame mega favorite over Stanford. Spreads at 25.5. How's Stanford this year? Did they keep it close? They kept it close versus UW. beat Wazoo, blown out at Oregon State, lost by 12 versus California. Now they're hosting Notre Dame. Do they do well at home? Sacramento State lost by 7. Arizona lost by 1. Hosted Oregon and got blown out 46-43. But Oregon does have one of the best. Oh, hosted Oregon, got blown out. Hosted Washington, got blown out. Hosted California, lost by 12. So all indications lead to Stanford getting blown out, but 25.5 points is a ridiculous spread that I probably don't want to touch. Let's see how Notre Dame, we might get some information based off how Notre Dame does this year when they're blowing out opponents. They blew out Wake Forest 45-7. Put up 45 on Wake Forest. That means if they do that again, Stanford just needs one touchdown. 23 on Clemson, 58 on Pitt, 48 on SC. Lost to Louisville, only scored 20. Louisville's pretty good though. Oh, did Louisville lose last week? Oh, they were 25 at the time. Okay. Um, Louisville. Um, so Notre Dame, Stanford. Notre Dame's plus 25.5. The total's at 50. I think I like the total to go over. And what's the reasoning for that? Over 50. The odds are minus 108. And the reasoning for that is Notre Dame does not let off gas when up big. Notre Dame doesn't let off gas when up big, is the first point. Cancel. I don't even know what's happening. Notre Dame does not let off the gas when up big, is the first point. Okay. Um, they're high scoring against bad teams. Does Stanford not get blown out? Oh yeah, we've already established that Stanford gets blown out at home. Oh, does Notre Dame blow out teams on the road? Oh, that's interesting. In Notre Dame's blowouts, they were hosting. They're only on the road, they're 2-2. Right? They lost to Ohio State hosting. They lost at Louisville. So Notre Dame struggles a little bit on the road. Stanford gets blown out at home. Argument against is Notre Dame struggles on road. But does Stanford hold anyone to low scoring games? Stanford can't be trusted to hold the game to low scoring. Can they be trusted to score a lot? Not really, unless it's against a bad defense. Man, even against other bad defenses like SC, they only beat them by 10. All right. Notre Dame struggled because of Notre Dame struggling on the road. I still think that's like a 6 for risk. Um, Dang it, the conditional formatting doesn't follow the road down. Ugh. All right, let's do this again. Argument for, argument against, final risk also has the same formatting. Pick. Um, Highlight cells rules if it's equal to. What do we want pick to be equal to? Yes? Oh yeah, yes or no. Okay. So highlight cells rules equal to yes. Make it green. And if it's equal to no, make it red. All right. Um, Notre Dame, Stanford versus Notre Dame over 50. Uh, Argument against is Notre Dame struggles on road. And D, are they 2-2 on the road? We said. Okay. Beat NC State on the road, beat Duke on the road, lost to Louisville on the road, lost to Clemson on the road. Yeah, so 2-2 on the road. So those ND 2-2 on the road. All right. Let's get the other one. Okay. Um, Back to the main scoreboard. Ohio State, Michigan. Wow. That's going to be a crazy game. Michigan's favored by 3. Michigan's coach is obviously out. That's the high drama. Michigan looks amazing this year. Man, this game's going to be crazy. Oh, man. Michigan's blowing out everybody. Look at those 30 to 3, 35 to 7, 31 to 6, 31 to 7, 45 to 7, 52 to 10, 52 to 7, 49 to 0, 41 to 13. Damn, they didn't have a close game until they went at Penn State and beat them. Then again, Ohio State's the best team they've played all year. Back here. All right, Ohio State, how are you guys? Man, they just coming off 2 blowouts against bad teams. Lots of bad teams in the Big Ten. We can compare how each team did against Penn State, though. Who's a good team? Um, all right. So let's go to Michigan. Ohio State 6-3 and 2 against the spread. Michigan's 5-5 and 1. Oh yeah, I forgot Ohio State kind of dominates this, except Michigan dominates it recently. What are the trends? Ohio State 5-1 against the spread in last 7. Total has gone under in 7 of Ohio State's last 8. Ohio State's are 10, 3-6 against the spread. Last 9 against Michigan. Ohio State are 15-3 straight up. State 9-0. Total's gone over in 5 of Ohio State's last 5. I'm playing on the road against Michigan. Ohio State 8-0 straight up. 1-5 against the spread in their last 7 games played on a Saturday at home. Total tends to go over when Michigan's at home against Ohio State. Over 45. All they got to do is get to the 20s, get into the low 20s. They do that every game. I mean, unless the argument is that maybe the defenses will start rolling. But I think these teams are offensive teams. Penn State have a good offense. Huh. All right. That's a pretty good win. They beat Iowa 31-0, Penn State did. That's impressive. Um, I mean, basically, so the thesis for the over-under is both these teams tend to blow other teams out and do a lot on offense. All right, to get a better idea of this, we really need to look at the Big Ten defensive. Who's good on defense in the Big Ten? Penn State is the best on defense. Michigan State's the worst. Michigan put up 33 on Iowa. I guess that was Ohio State. Oh no, that was Penn State put up a bunch on Iowa. Rutgers put up 31 on Rutgers. But Rutgers is the best Big Ten defense they've played. Other than that, they haven't even played any defenses. Oh, Penn State, of course. They put up 24 against Penn State. All right. What about Ohio State? What'd they do against Penn State? Put up 20 on Penn State. So 20 and 24. If the game's played like the Penn State game, the overall end up at 44. But it's a rivalry game, and the teams hate each other, and they always play to beat each other. And then if you look at this, total's gone over. Oh, and 6 of Michigan's last 7, but not only that, total's gone over in each of the last 9. Each of the last 9 it's gone over. So Ohio State versus Michigan over. Over what? Over 45.5. And the odds are minus 108. Michigan OSU has gone over in each of the last 9. Both have their only defensive test against Penn State and scored 24 and 20 each against Penn State. Penn State has a good defense. Over 45 and a half, I feel like that's pretty low risk. I'll give it a 3. And then what else? I might be interested in picking Ohio State here as dog. Plus 130. I mean, they probably should be slight underdogs. Plus 130 and plus 3. Definitely wouldn't want to touch Wolverines minus 3. Rivalry game. Wolverines minus 156 is just too high risk to make it worth it, I think, because you need to bet $1.50 to win $1. If you bet $15, you win 10, but you risk losing 15. Is it worth that risk when this game feels like a toss-up? No. Um, all right, don't want to pick any straight up or spreads in this game. What else do we have for college football today? All right, Ohio State, Michigan, Kentucky, Louisville, another rivalry game. I think Kentucky's pretty decent. Losses are at Georgia. Ooh, oh man. Kentucky was doing well and then they lost to Georgia and just fell apart. Oh, Georgia and Mizzou and Tennessee back to back to back. That's pretty brutal. One at Mississippi State, then lost versus Alabama. Just lost last week at South Carolina. South Carolina's not very good. They're on a 3-game win streak. It's not saying much. Other than Kentucky, the teams aren't very good that they've beaten. Rivalry game, Kentucky will be playing to win. Louisville's 10-1, but 2 weeks ago, or was that last week, they struggled with Miami. They just beat Miami by a touchdown, beat Virginia by a touchdown. I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. Okay, so we're looking at Louisville versus Kentucky. Um, uh, Obviously Louisville's favored, but I kind of like Louisville to get upset here. They just had a tough game last week versus Miami. I mean, really a back and forth game versus Miami. 38-31, 31-24. They only gave up 3 versus Virginia Tech. VT struggling, not having a great season. Um, Man, let's go look at how their previous games have fared. Um, Louisville. Wow, it started out with Louisville as slight favorites, and then the line pushed to Louisville being heavy favorites. So Vegas likes Louisville. Um, Head to head, last 10 they split, last 3 UK dominates. That's interesting. Kentucky 1-5 against the spread in last 6. Louisville's 4-2. Total's gone over in 6 of Kentucky's last 8. Ooh, Kentucky 1-5 straight up. Oh yeah, we did see that they're on a losing streak. Kentucky's 5-1 against the spread in last 6 against Louisville, and they've won 5 of the last 1 straight up. 5 of the last 6 straight up, I mean. Total's gone under in 6 of Kentucky's last 8 on the road. Total's gone over in the last 5 when these teams play. Kentucky's 6-0 straight up in the last 6 against ACC opponents. Kentucky's 6-3 against the spread in November in the last 9. Kentucky 4-0-1 against the spread in the last 5 games we played in week 13. That doesn't mean much. That just means Louisville. Hmm. 1-7 against the spread against SEC opponents. Louisville is beating the spread, but now the spread's moved. I mean, when it opened, if you could have seen a plus 7.5, you probably would take it for Kentucky. um, Kentucky gets it going on the ground, but not so much passing, except when they played Tennessee. 14, 21, 24, 27. So Kentucky gets teens against teens to low 20s. Could probably say you could count on Kentucky for 20. Louisville looks like they're good for about 30. They had these 2 games where they scored 21 and 23 respectively for that 33 against Notre Dame. So yeah, you could kind of assume Louisville will get 30. If it's bad, they might get mid 20s, which puts the total conservatively at 40, 40 something. Total's at 49.5, which means they're assuming both teams will score 25. 25 for Kentucky. Be kind of high scoring, I think. Let's see, they have 14, 21, 24, 27, 21, 13, 33, 45, 35. Yeah, so they'll probably get 20s against a good defense. How is Louisville's defense? All right. Um, I'll just look at total. Where's Louisville? 21. Wow. All right, and Kentucky scores. The over, I like the over, but I'm just not sure about it. Um, Opened at 50. Oh, the over under the line went down. Hmm. Okay, nice. UK offense, UK defense. It's kind of hard to compare offense and defense. Kentucky's defense gives up more rush yards. So I guess that's a differential. That's kind of Louisville doesn't give up many rush yards. Kentucky gets a lot of rush yards. Louisville defense gets a lot of sacks. Kentucky offense doesn't give up a lot of sacks. This is hard. I guess if the line's in the middle, then it's more reliable. Like, count on about 7 penalties per game for each team. Scoring. That's interesting. Kentucky averages 29. Louisville tends to only give up 17. This should probably favor Kentucky, though. What if we go the other way? Louisville offense, Kentucky defense. Um, so that means we could trust, so based on this, we could trust the Louisville offense to get in the mid 20s. We can trust the Kentucky offense to get around 20, putting the total around 45, which means I don't trust the over, but in a rivalry game, I don't want to take the under. Hmm. Kentucky's won the last 5. Here it says ball security will be key for Kentucky versus Louisville. Why? Does Louisville fumble or does Kentucky? Well, Kentucky had 3 turnovers there against South Carolina, 2 turnovers against Alabama, 1 turnover against Mississippi State, no turnovers against Tennessee. So what about Louisville? What about Kentucky's losses are all close though. If you take out I mean, they lost at Georgia. Big deal. I mean, Georgia's amazing this year. They got blown out at Georgia. Then they lost at home against Missouri. But Missouri's now a top 10 team, so they're they got blown out by 2 top 10 teams. Got blown out by Alabama. But non-top 10 teams, they lost by 3. They won. Lost by 6 against Tennessee. So their only non-top 10 losses are they lost at South Carolina and they lost by 6 against Tennessee. Their only unranked loss is South Carolina by a field goal. What's the spread? Kentucky plus 7.5. I like Kentucky plus 7.5, and I like the over, but the over is a little bit more risky. Actually, Kentucky plus 7.5 is pretty. I don't know. The odds at Kentucky plus 7.5 are minus 116. Louisville barely beat Miami last week. Rivalry game. Kentucky has won 5 of the last 5 in the rivalry. So Kentucky winning 5 of the last 5 makes it seem like it's going to be close. And Louisville barely beat Miami last week. Let's look up last year's game. Kentucky won 26-13. Louisville was ranked 25. Look up 2021. I guess it's hard to find old games. I don't know. /game ID. Yeah, I don't know how to find the old games. All right, so let's take it out of here. Go back to this. Kentucky's gone under in 6 of the last 8 on the road. Total has gone over in 5 of Kentucky's last 5 when playing on the road against Louisville. Total's gone over in 6 of Kentucky's last 8. It's gone over in 6 of Kentucky's last 8 and has gone over in 6 of the last games in this rivalry. 6 of the 8 last games in this rivalry. Total goes over every time Louisville plays Kentucky at home. Louisville's 5-8-1 against the spread on Saturday. What about Kentucky? Kentucky's 1-5 against the spread in the last 6. So Kentucky's not trending like they're gonna play this game close. All right, back here, and Kentucky 1-5 against the spread in last 6. So then the risk for this, I can also say it's a 6. Oops. All right. And then the over for this game. Oh, the line just moved up. Now it's at 50. Over 50 is plus 102. Louisville barely beat Miami last week. Rivalry game. Rivalry game. Over in last 5. 6 of last 8 are over in this game. Risk there is 5. All right. Next game, Kentucky Louisville. We have A&M LSU. Oh, we want all FBS. All right, A&M LSU. What are the lines at? LSU favored by 12.5, minus 480. The total's at 67.5. All right, now what are we trying to find? Oh, this is the game. All right, so the line opened at 8.5. It moved to 12. The total opened at 62.5. It moved to 67. Let's look at A&M's offense against LSU's defense. Right. So LSU tends to give up more yards per rush, so we could expect A&M to have a better rushing offense than they normally have, given same amount of attempts. And LSU's passing defense is slightly better than Texas A&M's offense. Turnovers. A&M gets more return yards. All right, let's look at LSU's offense now. Scoring. Oh man. Passing. So A&M's defense is definitely going to be tested. Head to head, LSU's 7-3 in the last 10. LSU's 1-2 in the last 3 though. Team records, trends. A&M 1-11 against the spread in the last 12 against LSU. 1-5 against the spread against LSU. Louisiana State are 5-1 against the spread. Last 6. A&M's 1-4 against the spread. LSU's 5-1 against the spread. Total has gone over in 14 of LSU's last 15. Whoa, that's a huge stat. So all LSU is doing is going over. So the total pushed up. Now what's the total at? 67, which means we're going to count on both teams to score 30 something. LSU, what are you guys doing this year? 56, 52, 28, 62, 48, 49, 49, 34, 41, 72, 45. Wow. Extremely high powered. Let's go Texas A&M. Ooh, they have one of the best defenses. They're down conversion percentage. Tied for 34. So A&M has a good defense. Let's see what A&M's scoring each game this year. 38, 51, 35, 30, 13, 20. So they struggled against Tennessee and Alabama, but put up 35 against Ole Miss. I don't think LSU has a very good defense. Whoa. Second best third down defense. Total defense. NCAF defense power rankings. Yeah, I'm trying to find some defensive power rankings. College football power index. Huskies have the best resume. All right. Well, anyway. Um. All right. So A&M hasn't scored under 30 since they lost at Tennessee. They only scored 20 on Alabama at home. So A&M seems to be good for 30. LSU's good for about 30. But the total's at 67, which means should go into the 40s really. Well, no. If we go into the mid 30s, you're good. Um, A&M LSU over 67.5, I think it is. Over 67.5. Odds are minus 104. A&M hasn't scored under 30 for 5 weeks. I'm still giving that a 7. That seems risky. All right. And then what other bets are there? I mean, the odds are too high to go either way for the straight up. Um, and even that line I don't really want to touch. I'm fairly confident LSU should win by that margin. I mean, what's LSU playing for? That's kind of the thing. LSU might not be playing for much. Well, Jaden Daniels playing for the Heisman. Jaden Daniels is playing for the Heisman, so I'm going to say that this is going to go over. Oh, I forgot. I already made that pick. Jaden Daniels playing for the Heisman, so I mean, is A&M going to hang with them the whole time? Uh, let's say LSU minus 12.5 against A&M. All right, and that's minus 105. Daniels playing for Heisman. We'll run up the score. And Brian Kelly likes to run up the score too. All right. Next game. Indiana, Purdue. Both these teams suck. Good luck figuring out what's going to happen here. All right, so moneyline Purdue is slightly favored. Total is at 55. Oh, they started out slightly favored and then moved to pretty heavily favored. The total is under 55. Hmm. All right, let's look for trends. Over in 6 of Indiana's last 8. Tends to go over when playing on the road against Purdue. What's the total at? 54. I don't know if I trust these teams to get to 54. Indy at Purdue. Purdue's 2-4 against the spread at home. Indiana's 2-2 against the spread away. Oops. And Indiana is 6-point dogs here. I don't really like anything about this game. I don't want to touch it. Middle Tennessee, Sam Houston. All right, be right back. All right, so now we're looking at Middle Tennessee State, Sam Houston. Um, it's gotten closer since it opened. I guess there's no information on Sam Houston's offense. Man, both these teams are no good. Sam Houston's 0-3 against the spread at home. Middle Tennessee's 2-4, 2-3 against the spread away. Oh. Total's gone over each time Sam Houston plays at home. All right, Sam Houston, what are you going to do? Middle Tennessee's 0-5 in their last 5 on the road. Total's gone over in 4 of their last 5, though. What's this line at today? Over-under's at 50. Middle Tennessee State. Last time they got a total around 50. It went under against FIU. Under against New Mexico. Here they had it at 52.5. Also, that thing where Sam Houston State has never beat the spread at home this season. But they're tending to hit the over. The line's at 50. I don't know if this is a rivalry game or something. The only thing that's really interesting here is that Sam Houston State is 0-3 and 1 against the spread at home. Yeah, I don't really see much here. I don't want to touch this game. All right. UConn, Massachusetts. Again, just 2 bad teams. All right. All right, how's the line moved? UConn started as favorites and then moved to slight dogs. So basically, we think this game is going to be close. Overall, let's go. UMass is 1-4 at home. UConn's 1-4 away. Against the spread, UConn is 2-3 away. UMass is 1-4 at home. And you can't really trust them. Over under home. Ooh. All right. Massachusetts tends to hit the over. Two and four against the spread in the last 6 games played on Saturday when playing on the road. Again, this is a game I don't want to touch. What's the total at?